What's up everyone? It's Alex. We're finally going to get back to answering viewer questions again. I know, it's been a while, it's crazy. You're so excited. Hang on, here we go. So this morning I woke up and I had a really interesting question from one of you guys. So this question's from T-Rev. So T-Rev, this one goes out to you, my friend. T-Rev left a comment on the beginner motorcycle video I just put out and asked, right now for my first bike, I'm considering either a Yamaha SR400 or Suzuki Boulevard S40, both used. What are your thoughts? Well, T-Rev, here we go. Here's my thoughts. Beginner motorcycle, SR400 Yamaha versus Boulevard S40 Suzuki, both of them used. First off, a little bit of basics on both bikes. The SR400 is a throwback classic series standard motorcycle. The Yamaha actually made for a really, really long time, and then in more recent years, they put out kind of like a revised, updated, but still classic version of it. Basically, you've got a 400cc single cylinder standard style motorcycle. They decided to fuel inject it, which is really cool. They also decided to make it kickstart only, at least in the US. I don't know if they did it electric start elsewhere, but all the versions I've seen have been kickstart only, which I think is a really cool feature. There are some drawbacks to that. We'll get to that in a minute. So SR400, single cylinder, 400 cc's, fuel injected, standard, classic, standard style motorcycle. Kickstart only, okay? Suzuki Boulevard S40. In the old days, this was also called the Suzuki Savage. So you might see an S40, if you see a Suzuki Savage, basically exactly the same thing. What that is a 650cc, single cylinder, carbureted cruiser. It's a really small cruiser, very, very low seat height. Very, very popular with shorter riders over the years. I've sold a lot of those to shorter riders because of the lightweight and the low seat height. So with the S40, you've got a very small, short seat height cruiser, single cylinder, 650cc carbureted motorcycle, okay? Also, the SR400 is chain drive. The S40 Suzuki is a belt. So that makes a small difference. Not a really big deal, but makes a small difference. Here's my thoughts. If you're someone that is not mechanically inclined at all and really can't work on anything and just does not understand mechanics, fuel injection is easier than a carburetor. The SR400 being a fuel injected bike, that's going to be a point in its favor versus the carburetor. Now, I've ridden plenty of carbureted bikes, had plenty of them. That's all there was for years and years and years. It's not that hard to deal with, especially if you ride it all the time. And the S40 has one big old carburetor for one big old single cylinder, okay? But fuel injection versus carbureted, got to give that point to the SR400. Motor size, SR400 is a 400. The S40 is a 650. So for a beginner, I'm going to say the 400 is going to be better than the 650, but SR400 is a little taller. The 650 single cylinder on that Boulevard S40 is very, very tame. It is a very torquey motor, so it's fun off the bottom, but it's a very tame. It is not a high horsepower. Neither one of these is high horsepower. So I'm really not going to give the edge to either one. 400 versus 650, single cylinder like that, that's going to be fine. That's basically negligible, okay? Seat height. S40 is a lot shorter. The SR400, being a standard motorcycle, is going to be taller. If you're a taller rider, you probably will prefer the SR400. If you're a shorter rider, you're going to like the S40 better. So that's going to depend on your height as far as that goes, all right? Chain versus the belt drive, it's not going to matter that much. A chain, you're going to need to clean it, lube it every once in a while. Once in a blue moon, you're going to have to adjust it. The belt drive, you basically just leave it alone until it ever needs replacing, which is like 20,000 miles or something. That's not really going to be a big deal either way to a beginner. If you pick the chain drive bike, just learn to clean and lube your chain and take care of it, okay? That's not a huge deal. Now, the Kickstarter versus electric start. Electric start is going to be a lot easier for a beginner. You basically pull the choke out on the S40, you hit the button, the thing starts. In theory, if your carburetor is working properly. SR400, you're not going to have to mess with a carburetor, but you're going to have to kickstart it. I've kickstarted them plenty of times. They're not that hard to kickstart. If you can handle a Kickstarter, I think the SR400 is still going to be the better option because of the fuel injection and everything like that. Also, they're just freaking cool, okay? SR400s are cool. What it all boils down to is, if you can handle a carburetor and you like the lower seat height, the S40 is an incredibly good choice. If you're a little bit taller and you don't want to mess with a carburetor and you can deal with a Kickstarter, then the SR400 is your better choice. I think personally for me, if I were just starting out, I already knew how to kickstart stuff from riding dirt bikes and everything. I probably would personally choose the SR400. I think it's a cooler motorcycle. I think the overall layout of it and the fact that it's a standard and everything will probably keep you happier longer than the S40 will. I think you will want a bigger bike going from the S40 a lot faster. I think the SR400 overall, between the fuel injection, I think the Kickstarter is cool. Styling, I think, is cooler. I think the SR400 personally is the better choice, but if you're a little bit shorter rider and you don't want to mess with a kickstart, the S40 is still a fantastic choice for a first motorcycle. You really can't go wrong either way. I just wanted to give you the differences. You're going to have to make the decision. I would find somewhere to sit on both of them. You said they were both used that you were looking at, so see if you can sit on both of them. See what feels right to you. I've said in the past, if it feels right to you, that's almost more important than anything else, because if it feels right and you're comfortable with it, you're going to ride it more often, you're going to practice, you're going to get the skills you need, and you're going to love your motorcycle, okay? Personal opinion, I like the SR400 a little bit better. I think the coolness factor and everything is there, but I've done tons of S40s for people over the years. They've been very, very happy with them. It is a time-tested and proven motorcycle as well. Can't go wrong either way. Those are the differences. Hope that helped out. I'm Alex. Peace.